Hey friends, Kevin here, and did you know you can have an ice maker in your minivan or cargo van or camper van or whatever it is that you are using for van life? It's actually pretty easy. You don't need a lot to run these. The question is going to become whether this is going to be right for you, something that you're going to want to have. So let's get into the detail of these ice makers for when we are all out traveling. Now, these ice makers aren't going to be 12-volt devices. They're going to be 110 like you use a wall socket. So you're going to need, if you have solar power and batteries and you have an inverter, then you're going to be able to run one of these. And you can do it with almost any of them because these things only pull about 100 watts or less than 2 amps, depending on how you're doing your calculation. The other thing, they will run off of almost any of these portable power stations battery packs. Again, because it's only pulling 100 watts, and even the smaller battery packs will be able to run that with no problem. So as far as what these things will do and real world uses for these, you have a little water container reservoir in this. It uses that, makes the ice. You plug this thing in, you turn it on, and you can make 8 or 9 ice cubes in about 5 minutes. And in another 5 minutes, you can have another 8 or 9 ice cubes. Now, from having a cold drink when you're out, it would certainly be convenient if you're going to have, a few friends over sitting around the campfire or something like that. Something going on, you want to have some ice for them. Then it certainly has a use as far as that goes. The question that comes up is, can I just use one of these to make enough ice to have, to fill up an ice cooler or an ice chest every day? And the answer to that's a little more complicated because it's really yes and no. Yes, it will do it because these things, if you leave them on all the time, they can make 20 or 25 pounds of ice a day, which is going to be the equivalent of 2 or 3 bags of ice that you would go buy. So it's certainly possible, but you're going to have to come up with enough water to make that much ice with. And the second thing is going to be, by the time you factor the amount of time it's going to take and the energy it's going to use to do that, you would be better off with a 12-volt refrigerator rather than a cooler. That would be my advice. These ice makers are a little add-on. Again, it's a luxury item if that's what you enjoy and want to have and want to entertain a little bit while you're on the road. Now, I'm linking one of these down in the description. There's a bunch of different brands. You can pay way more money for some of the brands than this one, but this one has held up well. I know a couple people that have it and have used it on the road. But one of the things you're going to have to keep in mind is the space. And the space that one of these little ice makers is going to take up is going to be about the size of one of these boxes. Now, if you went to the post office and you asked for an O Box 7 or what they call a large mailing box, which is roughly a 12 by 12 inch by 12 inch by 8 inch box, that is the size that it's going to be. So it's going to be bigger than a shoe box. I'm going to set this up there out of the way there so you can get a little perspective on size sitting on top of that microwave. So it is going to take up a little bit of space. And that's going to be a decision for many of us, whether that's something we would want to carry or not, if we want to donate that much space to that. And I'll give you an honest answer. I'm still undecided. I have thought about it, arranged some things. But for some of you, and it depends on how important it is to you. My style of travel is I am out almost every day. I am out exploring and I'm in towns and I'm somewhere that I can grab a drink that has ice in it. If you're the type of person that goes and you sit in the same place for multiple days and you're not able to do that and you would like ice for a nice drink, then one of these ice makers for van life essentially is probably going to be a good option to you. But again, it's linked down below so you can see the current price on this one. Generally, you can pick these up in for less than $100 sometimes. So you click and see what the price is right now. If you have any questions about them, put it down in the comments below. Coming up, we'll get back into more van and travel stuff. I just wanted to throw this out as an idea real quick because this does come up in forums all the time, and I've seen people ask these questions. And can I just get the Icemaker and use it to make ice for a cooler instead of having the 12-volt refrigerator? And my answer to that would be don't do it that way, because you're already halfway to the cost of just buying a 12-volt refrigerator. And it's going to save you a lot of hassle and a lot of work. And if you're doing it for the long term, the 12-volt fridge is definitely going to be the way to go. But as a luxury item for those of us that want to live well while we're on the road, hey man, even those people on those reality game shows like Survivor, even they get to take one luxury item. So no matter how much we're roughing it, we should be able to have one too, right? Yeah. So more van travel stuff soon. Everybody take care.